Hey guys, today we're going to replace the multi-displacement solenoid or cylinder deactivation solenoid on this 2006 Dodge Durango with the 5.7 liter Hemi. If this video is helpful, can you smash that thumbs up button and leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm? Really helps out a lot. First thing we're going to do is remove this hose right here. Set it off to the side. Next, we're going to loosen these hose clamps right here. Those take an 8mm socket or a flathead. Once you have those loosened up, you'll be wiggling these quite a bit to get them to pop out. There's a little connector down here. This just pops off like that. So you're just going to wiggle this whole thing until it comes loose and pull this assembly right here out. Now we are going to unhook this connector right here. Just push in on this tab and pull out like that. Now we're going to remove this 10mm bolt and this 10mm bolt. Now we are going to lift up on this and just kind of wiggle it out here. You're going to want to push it down this direction and pull this side out first. Now we're going to unplug this clip, so slide this red tab backwards and then push down here and then wiggle and pull. And you'll be able to remove that. Set it off to the side here. Now we are going to remove the throttle body here. So we're going to take out this bolt, this bolt, this bolt, and that bolt right there. Those bolts are 8mm. Now we are going to unhook the EGR tube here. So just kind of pull out on this clip. It comes off like that. And then we can wiggle this out. And we're not going to take it all the way out, but just like that is fine. Now we're going to pull this hose out here. Just kind of got to twist and break it loose. Wiggle it out. Just like that. Same thing with this one back here. Twist, break it loose, pull it off. Now we need to unplug the injectors. So just use a screwdriver. Pull those red tabs up and you push down on the clip right there and wiggle and pull that off. You need to do that for all 8 of them. Right here, right here, right there. And then on this side, right here, right here, right here, and right there. Next, we need to unhook the fuel line here. If you want to relieve the pressure before you do that, there's a Schrader valve right over here. Can push down on this little pin right here in the center. Gas will pop out of there. To unhook this, we need to first lift up on this clip here and pull this clip out like that. Now you'll need a set of these fuel line removal clips here. You're going to use the 3/8 size. I will have Amazon affiliate links in the description below where you can get these fuel line clips as well as your MDS solenoid on Amazon. If you want to check those out, those are available down there. So you're going to slip your clip on the fuel rail like that so that it can push inside of the connector here. You'll push the connector down while pushing the clip up into the connector, and then you'll kind of hear it click or feel that clip right there. Yeah, mine broke. You'll feel that push up into the connector, and then you'll pull the connector off. I'm just going to show you what's going on here because even when you know what's going on, these can still be frustrating. There's those 4 little clips you see inside there. Those catch on this ring right here on this fitting. So when you slide that plastic piece on here, you're pushing those fingers out so that they can slide past this ring right here. Once you get them to where those fingers are all pushed out, you can slide this off pretty easy. You can kind of wiggle and wiggle it around as you pull it. That can help you get it off sometimes, but it should slide off really easy once you get those fingers pushed up past that ring. Now we need to unbolt the manifold. There's 10 bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then same on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 right there. For this one here, use a 1/4-inch drive deep socket with an extension up here, and you can get that one out without having to take the compressor out, the AC compressor out right here. If you have some of these manifold bolts that are rusted out, especially the ones in the back, I'm going to have a video linked up here somewhere that will show you how I drilled those out, because I had one rusted back here and a couple up here. The one back here was a real pain until I figured out a little trick that made it really easy. So you can check that video out there if you're having that problem also. Now we need to unplug this right here, push down on this tab right here and pull. Now we're gonna try to lift up on the manifold. It might take a little bit of wiggling and prying to get it to break loose. I used a big flat-bladed screwdriver and kind of pried right in here. Pry it up right there. Same thing on this side over here. Pried it up right there and then around the back and got it to pop loose. It did take a substantial amount of effort on this one to get it to pop loose. Under normal conditions, if you can get all 10 of those bolts out without having to drill them out, then I believe you should be able to kind of pop this up a little bit, twist it over, and get this tab out of the way of the AC compressor, and then be able to lift this up and out this way. However, when you drill the heads off from these bolts, the studs stick up in there, and you can't lift the manifold all the way up past those bolts. So I'm going to loosen the tensioner here and remove the belt from the AC compressor here, and then unbolt the AC compressor. I took this bolt out and took the bolt out that is right back here, and then I was able to put a pry bar in here and pry this up a little bit. Okay, you need to pry your EGR tube out of the socket here. I took a screwdriver like this and just pried and then pushed over here with my hand until I got it to pop out like that. And now I'm going to push it back and zip tie it to the transmission dipstick to keep it keep it over out of the way. I got the manifold up and loose here. Now I'm going to pound the AC compressor back down to try to give me a little bit more room to come out this way. I used a pry bar in here like this to be able to push it back down. Now take your oil cap off. Now I've pried it up and out this way. I did loosen up a few of these things here, basically prying up on this. All right, here's the deal. You can't take your manifold all the way out without taking out the windshield, transmission, and all this crap up here. But you still have quite a bit of room back here to be able to get into your rear MDS solenoids. And then for the front ones, you can just kind of push this back down this way a little bit and work underneath the manifold this way. They're all accessible. I also took out the foam that was in there. But if you're more of the opinion that you want this all the way out, then you can go watch one of those long 30-minute videos about taking out all this crap and doing it that way. I'm replacing solenoid for cylinder 7 here. If your stuff looks as rusty and crusty as mine is, it's probably a good idea to spray some WD-40 or PB Blaster or something like that down in there and just let it sit as long as you can. Days is better. Now we've sprayed this with WD-40. We're gonna let it sit because that bolt right there is what we gotta take out, and it is very rusty. To unplug this connector, you're gonna slide this back, push in on this tab right here, wiggle and pull. That is an 8mm bolt there, but mine was a little bit rusted off and the 8mm was just spinning around on it. So I took a 9/32 and pounded it on there and was able to get it out without having to drill it out. All right, at this point we need to just basically pull this out. You're probably gonna break the head off, especially if yours looks as rusty as mine is. All right, there is the head of the solenoid. There's also a spring in there. I think you can see. Make sure that's just loose sitting in there. So make sure that when you pop this off, you pick it up from on top of the solenoid there. When it was sitting in there, I just had my vice grips clamped down there like this, and then I just started pounding it back and forth like this with my hammer right there, just a little hammer. Just tap, 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 tap. And I got it spinning in there pretty free. All right, so now we are going to pull up on this plunger here, pull that out. All right, now I'm gonna take the shop vac and just suck all that debris and stuff out of there, because when we pull this up and out, we don't want that stuff falling down in there. You should also note that I took the shop vac and sucked all of this crap along the manifolds on both sides and sucked down in there in each of the cylinders, just trying to get as much of the debris as I could out. This little metal tab just popped off. I've seen quite a few YouTube videos on how guys do this, and everybody's got a little bit different way, but I've not seen anybody doing it quite like this. So what I did here is I took a 3/8 inch bolt here. I think it's roughly 3.5, 4 inches long, something like that. The length doesn't really matter. Tapped it in there to where I could start to get it to turn down in there. And then I've got a washer in here to keep it from going through that socket. But you just need basically something to bridge the gap here and to be able to turn your bolt here, and it'll pull it right up out of that hole. There we go. There it is. That is honestly the easiest way I've seen that happen so far. Well, we got part of it out anyway. We gotta get the bottom part there. So this bottom portion here was actually pulled up most of the way, and I pushed it back down in on accident. But I think I should have, when I started screwing that bolt in and I saw that it was moving up, I should have just tried to just pull it up by hand, because I think it would have pulled out pretty easy. And I just took this punch here and just tapped it in, and it just lifted right out easy as pie. I just used a punch like this and just tapped it in there a little bit till I felt it kind of seat in there a little bit, and it just pulled right out. There is a magnet onto the end of there, so it will pick up debris. All right, I'm gonna have these linked down in the description below. There's two different styles of these. Mine takes the longer one. There's also a shorter one. It's basically the same part number, just without the XD at the end. So I'll have both of those linked down in the description below. At this point, you basically just put everything back together the way you took it apart. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, smash that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.